Well, hello there. It's been a while. So good to be here live again. It's live. It's Monday, March 10th. If you're watching this as a replay, please let me know. Stick around for the card polls because there's probably something and there's probably some message here for you. So it's really interesting. The planets are going a little bit crazy, or maybe that's just an excuse. Sometimes we come up with these things as excuses, but I'm specifically talking about two planets. One of them we get to see in the night sky quite a bit. It's really bright in the night sky. Can you guess what it is? Pop it in the comments if you can guess. Maybe I'll pull a card for you if you're the first one to guess it right. And right now, since there's no one actually here live, I'll wait until you comment as a replay and we'll tell you the answer. So drum roll, that bright planet in the night sky is Venus. And right now, Venus is retrograde. Venus is the sign. Okay, I'm a backyard astrologer, so I don't know nothing from nothing. This is just what I've been learning and sponging up from other locations, from other people. But what I know about Venus is it's the planet of love. It's the planet of relationships. So when it goes retrograde, that's a sign that maybe you need to pay more attention to how you're interacting in your relationships. And it doesn't always just mean love. It means relationships in general. And I never want to forget about the biggest relationship of all, with ourselves. That's a biggie. So Venus is retrograde, and I'm not sure for how long. It doesn't retrograde as much as the dreaded Mercury retrograde, which is coming. This Saturday, it officially retrogrades. So that means right this minute, it's in the process of slowing down its direction, because then it's going to start moving back. And it's all an illusion, of course, up in the sky. I mean, it's still circling. It's not hitting the brakes and reversing, but energetically, we do feel a difference. And Mercury does retrograde, I think, about 3 times a year, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. And what can happen is with Mercury, it's the sign of communication. So communications can break down, mechanical things can break down. And let me tell you, if you've watched any of my shorts or any of my videos since this weekend, I was trying to create something and it didn't work out. I had to re-record because here I am. I'm talking away. I used Zoom. I'm talking away. And I didn't hit any little buttons to tell it to stop recording. It just stopped recording. So I don't know. I really don't know. But I don't always put a lot of energy into Mercury retrograde thinking that's, it's bad. It's this. I mean, it's fun to kind of blame it on things that happen. And yet, crap happens even when Mercury's going direct. So, but things to actually use in Mercury retrograde, it's harness that energy. So let's just flip back to Venus for the moment. It's in retrograde right now. How can you use it as a tool? This is a good time to think about how you are in your relationships. Slow down on those thoughts that you want to spit out of your mouth before you actually contemplate what you're saying, that sort of thing. Same with Mercury going in retrograde. This is the perfect time for all of those re's in the retrograde. It's the revisit. It's checking out all the stuff from our past that we need to recover, redo, rejuvenate some past ideas, that sort of thing. And it always seems to be, well, I shouldn't say always. This is the second time. The last retrograde was in December sometime, and I came up with the bright idea to create this journey for people, which I did. And I thought it went well. People enjoyed it. Well, now I've come up with another one. Mastering the Minor Arcana. I'm in the process of creating this series that's all about the Minor Arcana, and I'm taking it 4 weeks of it, and I'm doing videos for each of the the numbers in the zodiac. Not the zodiac. I've been doing a lot of videos today, filming, so let me gather my thoughts. So what I'm doing, it's free to join. And to be honest, you don't even need to join anything. You can just watch these videos as they come out. However, I've created play sheets that are going along with each of the suits. So I'm breaking it down to 4 weeks. Each week is one suit. We're starting with one suit for a whole week. Every day, I'm going to cover 2 of the cards in the suit. We're going from ace all the way to king. And this is going to be a way for you to watch a quick video, learn a little bit more about this suit and the cards that I'm talking about at the time. But if you download the free play sheet, and in the replay of this, I will give you in the description, I'll give you the link to it. I can put it in the comments here, but I don't know if it's going to actually work. But let me put this up. And so if you do sign up, what you're getting when you sign up is actually, I'm doing 2 things at once here. Let me do this. That is the link for you to sign up. And why do you need to sign up? Well, you don't. You really don't. You can just watch the videos and glean your information. But when you sign up, you're going to get the play sheets. You're going to get a link that sends you straight to the video when the video goes live. We're starting on Sunday. I'm in the process right now of recording the first suit that we're going to be covering next week. And yeah, realistically, those play sheets are going to accumulate. You are going to have 28 play sheets, actually more, because there's going to be one for each. So you're going to have 56 play sheets. Hopefully that doesn't sound overwhelming. That's going to be your personal record of what you think of each card. And it's like your own documentation. And I try and make things a little bit fun. I try and make things simple and easy and empowering. So give it a try. Give it a try. Yeah. So what I want to do right now, especially since I don't have any people here live, and that's totally okay. It's my fault. I've missed lives for the past few weeks coming my tarot after dark. Anywho, I will pull some cards because yesterday, at least here in North America, we had a time change. We sprung ahead. So we lost an hour and everyone gets in a big kerfuffle about it because our energy feels off. I think realistically, though, it's all in here, at least for me, because I spend like the first 2 or 3 days after the time changes converting the time back, going, now it's 7:10, but realistically it's just 6:10. And I keep kind of doing that and it throws me off. But it does have a bit of an effect on our energy. And I think there's even studies that say there's more motor vehicle accidents that happen on the Monday after a time change. Because of that, I don't know. Hopefully not. I hope everyone's safe out there. Realistically, an hour isn't a big deal. It is not. So let me pull a card here just for the collective energy. And if it resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Here we go. We have the 6 of Wands. Definitely a time for you to trust yourself and the actions you've already taken. So I talked about Venus in retrograde and I said, take care of yourself. Well, this is where you can think about all the things that you're good at. Think about all the things you've accomplished. They don't have to be, oh, I won Oscars and, I made $1 gazillion. They don't have to be that profound. Nobody needs to know. This is just for you to make you feel good about your life and where you're at. And I even recommend writing down a list of your accomplishments in a way that feels good to you, because then you can, when you're having a day where it's like, I can't do anything right, Mercury retrograde, and this never works out well, you can look back at your little journal of all the good things you're good at and won and that sort of thing. And you're able to say, hey, there's written proof. I did do good. And the beautiful thing about it being your own words and your own experience is that's what you remember. You remember how it felt. You remember that sensation. You remember what you wore. You remember the smells. And you can even have a song that you hear that reminds you of that amazing time you had. Because it doesn't just need to be about your accomplishments. It can definitely be about things that got you on the right path, right? Wands are fire energy. Wands are things that you've done, that accomplished, the actions that you've taken. That's a huge important part of getting over anything that wasn't good, is by focusing on the things that are good. Okay, so I'm plopping that back in the deck, and we're going to just make sure there's no comments yet. If you want a card pull specifically and personally for yourself, let me know in the chat. Again, if you're watching as a replay later, clearly I can't pull a card for you, but if you're here live, that's the perks, you know? So Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde coming up on the 10th. Nothing to be afraid of. But the beautiful thing is, this is the time to harness the energy. So what do you need to go back on and do? Hey, you know what? Mercury retrograde would probably be a really good time to start getting your taxes done, because that's last year's energy. That's last year's income. What did I make last year? And planning all that, that's going to actually put better energy into it. And anything you want to use Mercury retrograde for, looking back on different things, it's going to ease that transition. If you've tried to do something over and over and it just didn't work out for whatever reason, timing wasn't right, you didn't have the right resources, what have you, you had this great idea, but you had no friggin' clue how to make it work. Mercury retrograde is the time for you to go back and visit those plans, because it's going to be easier now, you know, to implement things. The only thing with retrograde is that you don't want to start something brand spanking new. You don't want if you have to, you have to, but the energy is a lot slower that way. Retrograde energy is the time where you go back and revisit or redo or tidy up the things that you've done before. It's like crossing your T's and dotting your I's, making sure everything is right. And that's what you can do with Mercury retrograde. Instead of sitting there twiddling your thumbs, you're doing something, right? Looking over your shoulder at the past, going, okay, what can I do with that? So let's pull another card and see what we need to hear. Ace of Pentacles. This is a time for you to think back on all those brainiac ideas for how you can make more money or make money simpler. Or this is confirming what I was saying. Get started on your taxes. Think back, do all the stuff from 2024. I should probably be listening to my own advice right now. So there you have that. And a crystal that comes to mind for Mercury retrograde, there's a few of them. My standbys for grounding energy, black tourmaline, it's releasing energy. But what I love black tourmaline for is near computers. It helps to transmute that radio frequency and things like that. So you don't want a clear quartz crystal around your electronics. You don't want to do that, because that amplifies that energy, the Wi-Fi and all that. I'm not saying it amplifies the Wi-Fi so you have a better signal, though. It's just more energy that might kind of cancel itself out. But you do want to have black tourmaline around your electronics, because it helps to transmute that energy. It helps to kind of keep things at a grounded state, which is always fantastic. One thing that I love to do when my computer decides to have a brain fart, which happens sometimes and it won't work, or, that blue screen of death, whatever you call it. What I do is I'd be like, okay, well, you're not going to work. I'll either try and shut it off. Mine doesn't seem to like the Control Alt Delete, but whatever. I'll just close the lid. I'll feel it. Usually it's hot. So it's kind of like, oh, you've been working overtime. And then I'll grab my black tourmaline, which I don't have it handy right now. And I'll just place it on top for a while. And I'll just leave it and I'll go do something else. And sure enough, it reboots. And I feel that the black tourmaline is helping. Does this stuff work like magic? The magic's in the intention. The magic is in letting go of worrying about something that isn't working, or beating your head against the wall, trying to get it to work, and coming up with a different solution. That's the best way about it. Come up with a different solution. And the best way to do that is you got to let go of the first one first. Okay. Let me pull another card here. What do we have? What do we need to know right now? But yeah, if you're interested in learning more about tarot, I recommend checking out that Mastering the Minor Arcana. So we have the King of Cups. Notice we're having all minor arcana right now, which is cool. King of Cups is saying, honor your emotions, trust the deep feelings that you have. And to me, I'm picking up, this is the Venus vibes of, loving what you do, loving yourself, loving the people around you, and honoring everybody's experiences, but you don't need to take it on. You're above that. All you need to do is concern yourself with your own emotions, making sure that you are governing them in a way that uplifts yourself. And the other solution to that is it uplifts other people as well. Maybe not to your face, but eventually they might get it. So again, if you want a card pull, just pop it in the comments and I'll pull you one. So why did I choose to do the minor arcana in this this challenge that's coming up, or this journey, as I call it, that's coming up? Well, because for me, and I can only go by my own experiences and the experiences of my students, is that the major arcana seem to be easier to understand, or easier to grasp or learn overall. Now, some of it might be because, it's kind of blatant. A Tower card, it's kind of obvious. But also there's less. There's less cards. Where the minor arcana, you got 56 cards. It's like a playing deck, except you got the 4 extra because the page isn't in the regular playing cards. So you've got 56 cards to learn. And I never recommend memorizing something because nobody's going to remember that. It's better to immerse yourself in the messages, in the energy, in the experience. And the best way to do that is to have fun and play. It's not about using tarot to work. It's playing with tarot. It's a game. They're cards, right? And I'm not saying, well, don't take what they say seriously. I mean, still. We use these as a prop. The messages channel through us, whether you're using cards, whether using a different media, astro dice, what have you, oracle cards. But for me, learning the minor arcana were a lot more difficult. And I know there's some that are easy, but there's some that cause a bit of confusion as to how does that relate to the message itself. So the Master the Minor Arcana is a series of videos that are going to be dropped every day for 28 days, plus the play sheets. If you choose to sign up for the free play sheets, you can. And from there, at the end of the week, each week, I'm going to do a live where you can do Q&A with me, and we'll go a little deeper into how these cards relate to each other, because it's never just a static card and what to do with it. Interesting that the 5 of Swords shows up. a hollow victory, not feeling a little gloaty, somebody not, it not being a fair fight. This is the typical meaning of this card. But if this comes up in a reading, you need to start to understand how these cards relate to each other. And it really depends on the position it is in the spread or your intention when you're shuffling. So that's why it's always good when you are shuffling a card deck that you start thinking about the query or the question or the situation or the circumstance. And it's so funny. It's when the cards started flipping for me is when I can shuffle, and it's not till in my head I have my thought wrapped around how I want to word the question or what I want to ask the cards. And after a while, it was like when I finally got it clear in my head, that's when the card would go bloop and flip out. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should pay attention to that. So I double down on having intention while I'm shuffling. A card usually comes easier. So let me give you an example. Let's pull a card on. There's one person watching the video right now, and I'm not calling you out. I don't even know who you are, what you are. Oh, so here you are. You actually have a question. Thank you, Zach. That helps me out. What does it say here? I need guidance from spirit, how to manage OCD that's out of control. Fear, doubt, and worry are on overload. Need direction toward a path of peace and stability and resolution. I love and honor your mom. Oh, thank you. Okay, that's a big one for one card pull, but let's address that. Okay, Zach? So I'm tuning into your energy. What I love already is that you said how to manage OCD. You didn't say how to manage my OCD. A lot of people say how to manage my pain, how to my, which means you are owning it. But Zach, you're not. You didn't say my. You just said manage OCD, manage the OCD. So already you're separating from it, which gives you more hope that you can not overcome it, but manage it differently. Well, you already say that, manage it. Yeah, you got it. Let me put that back up. And I want you to reframe for yourself a more constructive way. And I can't help it. I'm not just a tarot reader or teacher. I'm also a mentor and that sort of thing, mindset and all the things, Reiki, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, shifting that to managing your OCD so that you have more control in your own life, so that what's the opposite of fear? Happiness. So you have more happiness in your life. You want to manage the OCD so you have more clarity. So you're already shifting it by turning it into what you want instead of what you don't want, because that's always going to rear its ugly head. So that's my first advice to you is when you start saying it and it's turning to a negative, don't judge yourself for it. We're human. We do it. It's totally okay. B, celebrate you caught it, aha. And then C, switch it into something more positive. And what you're doing is you're stopping in your brain from just going down that path, letting the wild horses run, going, this sucks and this happens and it's all negative, to wait a minute, let's gather this back in. And how can I think about it differently? How can I turn this OCD into something constructive? And then you've shifted the energy already right from there. Okay. So let's see. Let's pull a card. Becca Poo. I'll get to you in a second, girl. I'm assuming. I should never assume. Let's pull a card for Zach regarding the OCD. Did you see that? That just flopped right out. Don't panic. I'm looking down here because that's where I can see the cards, but I know you're up there. Don't panic. All right. This is the 9 of Swords. So you're asking how to manage it. Swords are all about thoughts. This is confirming exactly what I was saying. It's shifting from all the thoughts that are keeping you up at night, that are making you think you're not good at whatever, that think you're broken, that think things are wrong, and you're needing to reframe it. How can you let OCD work in your favor? What are some tips you can do, or triggers that can remind you to, oh yeah, let's focus on something else? It's like you've got to have things in place for when something's going to happen. Maybe have a list of things listed on your phone. I would also recommend physically writing it in a notebook or a journal, because you're connecting that motor skills with your brain. Like there's more going on that's cementing in the fact that, hey, I'm being proactive in doing something about this. And then also knowing it's not an overnight fix, and that's okay. It didn't happen overnight, so it's not going to cure overnight. It's up to you to shift your habit, because at the very end of that, and I don't know if you were here for that 6 of Wands pull, that's the celebratory energy, is you're going to be like, I'm working on this. I'm living my life. OCD is part of it, and that's okay, because I am overcoming a big, big part of it. That's my suggestion for you. Shift to the positive, exclude the negative, learn. Actually, you know what? You don't have to exclude the negative. The negative is going to be there. The negative is the heads up going, there's something going on here. So then you're like, oh, okay, what's going on? Negative. Let's turn you around. So there's nothing wrong with a negative. It's showing you when you need to do something, when you need to shift, when you need to use those tools that you've learned or going to learn. And, when you wake up in the morning, be in the mindset of, I'm going to find something throughout my day that I can add to my energetic tool belt that's going to help me manage the OCD that crops up. That's my suggestion for you. Hope that was helpful. Becca Poo. The planets have woken up something in so many of us. Clarity, not crazy. I love it. Yes. Hashtag clarity, not crazy. Yeah. And there is a big, big shift. I had a really good conversation with someone, one of my business besties today, and she's the abundance ambassador. She's amazing. She's talking about when we're raising our vibration, there's always going to be the opposite that aligns with it. There's always There's always, I'm sure you've heard of yin and yang, right? Black and white, light and dark, negative, positive. They exist together. You can't have one without the other. So when we're up here as a planet, as a group of people, vibing high, wanting to, we're learning, we're growing, we're expanding our consciousness, we're expanding our hearts. Whoop, the negative's going to meet it. So with all the stuff that's going on in the world right now, in my world anyway, in my mind, it's kind of the worst it's ever been. But that also means that those of us that are of the light and the high vibration, we're up there too. So we just got to keep going. And the more we can do that, the light, the bright, the higher vibration is easier to sustain than a lower vibration. And if you just take sound waves, for example, lower vibration seems to fall off, higher vibration can sustain more. And I don't know. I'm no expert, but that's how I feel about it. Chime in if you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong. It's all a discussion. It really is. Oh, you're so welcome. Keep me posted, okay? Because for me, I know I have some ADD going on. Definitely stuff in that department, but it's kind of always who I've been. So when I get into the realm of wanting to kind of beat myself up for something, I try and find either a better feeling or a better thought to kind of get me out of that and into something a little higher vibrating. So yeah. Anyways, that's it. Let me pull one more card here as a final for whoever needs to hear it. And if you are a tarot buff and are interested in learning more, remember to follow this series that's starting on Sunday. You can also sign up for it so you get access to the play sheets, the free play sheets, and it'll be an email every day that gives you a link that goes directly to the YouTube. All right, the YouTube video, I mean. Okay, that card, right after I was talking the whole time and right after I finished my thought, the card went kerfloom. So bring it on. Can you guess what this card is? I'll give you a hint. No, I can't sing. That's not good. I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with the weather. Pop it in the chat if you think you know what it is. I love helping people use their intuition. So I'm going to take a slurp while I wait for your comment to come in. And if you don't know, just type, I don't know. Nobody's going to play along. You might win a prize. All right, I'm going to okay, wait a minute. Okay, I see your other message here. It takes a while to come through. The new age will be more friendly for neurospices. Yes, I love neurospices. I love that reference. Yeah, I hope so. I'm putting that out there. Singing in the rain. Yeah, that was me yesterday. The moon. Oh, close. The opposite. Close. The sun. The sun. I was going to sing either hum the Beatles or something, but I went, no, this will be a time, you're live here. Anyone can see you. So the message I pick up from this is that no matter what the weather is in your heart and in your mind, the skies are always going to clear if you allow it. It's up to you. You have to allow it, even in the stinkiest situations. And we don't know other people's situations. We could look at them and they're always happy. They're always upbeat. I don't come on here all glum and crying, but that doesn't mean I'm not. At times it happens. And you have to allow it. That's part of the up and the down, the negative, the positive, right? Yeah, it was close enough. Yeah, here it comes. Here comes the sun. Oh no, don't make me do it. Now I'm going to have that song in my head. But yeah, this is realistically saying that no matter how life is dishing things out for you, find something to love and be happy about, because that's why we're here. We're here to experience it all. And sometimes it comes through the contrast of the things we don't like. But sometimes it comes through the unexpected, amazing things that come in. Those things happen. They really, really do. I'm Aries and very much feeling the shift. Oh, yes. Yes, that's my moon. And I definitely, yeah. It's coming, but it's good. There's a shift in the air anyways. We're at the cusp of the seasons changing, regardless of what the date is. Like, it's practically spring, and then we get dragged back into winter, at least where I am. And it's all part of it. So you got to find something to love about it. For me, the weekend, it was cold and chilly, and it's like, I don't really want to be out here dragging the dog around. And then I'm grateful because he doesn't like being out in it either. So business walks it is, and that's all it is. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for being here. I so appreciate it. If anyone wants a card pull, here's your last chance to do it. I'll take another slurp of water. Otherwise, I have a Caesar salad waiting for me. I thought of eating it first, and then I thought, watch me go on camera, and I got a big piece of lettuce stuck in my teeth. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody at all. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next Monday, I hope. But in the meantime, join the program. It's going to be fun. Or watch the videos. You don't even have to sign up. But again, you can, so you get the play sheet. And that's it. Blessings your way. Enjoy your healthy dinner. Thank you. Blessings to you too. Thank you so much. And we will see you next time. Peace out.